Welcome to Fantasy. It's Tom here, and I'm here to take a little bit of time out of your real lives to just talk fantasy. So let's kick it off right away with some studs you're going to want to play in your fantasy leagues this week. Sunstar, Impact, and Expect have been making big things happen on the Rift, especially the two top guys in the top lane. Expect has the most fantasy points per game in the top lane, and has a pretty decent week this week against Unicorns of Love and Schalke. Impact's a good backup, though, if Expect's not available in your league, as Cloud9 is going up against Team Envy and Phoenix 1. But you're going to want to replace some of these duds that you're going to have in the fantasy lineup. Cabochard, Power of Evil, and GBM won't be putting up the points you want from them. Power of Evil had a pretty good week last week, fantasy point-wise, but he's going up against Fnatic, so there's going to be no repeat performance there. And then Cabochard has a difficult week against H2K and Giants, who they're very close in the standings with. Might want to go with a top lane stud instead. Let's talk a little bit of risky business. Some picks that you may want to go with or you may not want to go with. Trashy on Splyce has very quietly become the 4th best fantasy point jungler in the league, but he's got Fnatic and H2K this week, so it's a bit of a risk. And then the Team Liquid and CLG matchup is the NA match of the week. You guys can pick your poison between which team you think is going to win, and some of the players have been putting up big fantasy points for their respective teams in those roles. So it's up to you guys who you're rooting for. So let's get on to the forum questions, starting with a question from user ACAP32, who wrote in with, what is one player from a statistical point of view, well, the best point of view, that is a must-have but has a low ownership rate in fantasy? This is something that I've tried to hit upon with the studs throughout most of the season. Actually, most of the studs have a 70% ownership rate or lower, but in this case, you're going to want somebody that's not like Meteos, who we hit upon a lot earlier in the split. You're going to be looking for somebody that is available in a lot of leagues. And for myself personally, it's Splyce's Kabi. He's a top 6 fantasy point 80 carry and only has a 32.1% current ownership rating. That's a new word there. But you could just imagine right now, in most leagues, you might have one of those top 5 fantasy point 80 carries like Cloud9 Sneaky or like Fnatic's Reckless. Kabi can be that flex spot to really seal the deal as you're going into the last couple weeks of fantasy. So you can win your own split. That's all the time I got for today, but if you want to ask me any questions, hit me up on the Fantasy LCS subreddit.